Okay, Assalamu alaikum. This is Sayyid Muhammad Ahmad. Hello everyone. So today we will going to solve SAT exam questions, and there are 12 questions that we will going to solve. So let's start our practice. So let's do the first question. We have a car averages 27 miles per gallon. If gas costs $4.04 per gallon, which of the following is closest to how much the gas would cost for this car to travel 2,727 typical miles? Okay. So first of all, a car averages 27 miles per gallon, right? So we can write that information here, 27 miles per gallon. Okay. So each gallon will cost you $4.04. Okay. $4.04. Okay. So we need to find for 2,727 miles how much cost the car will like how much cost it would have if you will cover 2,727 miles. Okay. So we need to find a cost, right, for 2,727 miles. Okay. So here, first of all, you can see this is your relation given 27 miles per gallon. Okay, per gallon, and you have total how many miles? 2,727 miles. Okay, so in order to find number of gallons, so first of all we need to find number of gallons, right? So in order to find number of gallons, you will going to divide 2,727 miles by 27 miles per gallons. Okay, per gallon. So here we can see that we can just remove this miles with this mile, and this will come in the numerator, right? The gallon. So you will get 101 gallons. So for this much miles, you will have 101 gallons. So gallons of gas. Okay. And for each gallon of gas, you have $4.04. So for 101 gallons of gas, you will going to multiply this by $4.04 and you will get your answer, which is typically about $408.04. So this is the option number D, I guess, which is your answer. Okay, so now we can go to the next question. So we have x equals to 3 and y equals to 5. X equals to 3, y equals to 5. And we need to find how much does the value of this expression is like exceed the value of this expression. So we need to find the values for each of the expressions. So we have 3x square minus 2y. So first of all, we can substitute x equals to 3. So we can write 3 into 3 to the whole square because this is basically x minus 2y. Y is 5, so I can write 5. Now when you further solve this question, so you will get 27 minus 10 equals to 17. So this expression gives you 17 when x equals to 3 and y equals to 5. The second expression which is given is 2x square minus 3y. So when again, similarly, if we substitute the values, we will get 3 square minus 3 into 5. Okay, so it will be 18 minus 15, which is basically equals to 3. 18 minus 15 equals to 3. And so 17 exceeds the value of 3 by 14 units. Okay, so there is a difference of 14 between the two values of the two expressions. So we can say 14 is our answer. Like this expression 3x square minus 2y exceed the value of 2x square minus 3y by 14 units. So this is your option number G. So we can take option number G. Question number 3. What is the value of x when 2x plus 3 equals 3x minus 4? Okay. So we can just need to rearrange the equation. Let's say 2x minus plus 3 equals 3x minus 4. We can subtract 2x on both sides like this. Okay. So we will get this 2x positive and negative 2x will be cancelled. We can write 3 equals when you add this, so you will get positive x, negative 4. Similarly, when you add 4 on both sides, you will get 7 equals x. So x is 7, so it's E. So E is the correct answer. Let's solve our next question, question number 4. Okay, so it's about what is the greatest common factor. So we need to find the greatest common factor of these numbers. Okay, 42, 126, and 210. Okay, so first of all we need to see what is the greatest common factor. Okay, so let's say if you have a number, if you have, let's say, two numbers, 2 and 4. Okay, and like the factors of 2 will be, let's say, 1 and 2, and the factors of like which come like what are the factors comes in the table of the number, right? So let's say if 4, so 4 can be divisible by 2, and it can also be divisible by 1. So 1 is also a factor of 4, 2 is also a factor of 4, and 4 itself is also a factor of 4. Okay, so these are three factors of 4, and 2, 1 comma 2, like 1 and 2 are the factors of 2. Okay, so if you can see, the greatest common factor between these two numbers 2 and 4 is 2, right? So we can say that 2 is the GCF. GCF means greatest common factor. Okay, like the common factor that both or all the numbers share. Okay, so let's say 42, 126 and 210. Okay, so like for the smaller numbers it is very easier to find out the greatest common factor. Okay, but for the numbers like these, like 42, 126, like they are a bit like greater number, but the thing is, in the greater numbers there are some methods to find out the greatest common factor. What are those methods? So we need to see. Okay, so first of all we need to find out, let's say we have 42. Okay, so 42 can be divided, like can be break into two numbers, 2 and 21. Okay, and now you can see you cannot divide or break 2 into two more numbers, two more whole numbers. So we can circle this 2 now. Okay, I will let you know why I am doing this. Okay, and then we have 21. So 21 can be like again we can break 21 into two numbers. The first one you can say 3 and 7. Okay, because 3 multiplied by 7 is 21. Okay, now you can see you cannot divide 3 further. Okay, you cannot write two more numbers for 3 and 7. They are just the whole numbers. Okay, so we can just circle them, 3 and 7. Now you can write the circle number here. 42 will be equals to 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 7. Okay, so this is the thing. When you multiply the circled number, you will get the original number, which is 42. Okay, so why I am writing this? Because this is one of the method to find out GCF, greatest common factor. Similarly, you will going to use the same method and you will going to find for 126 and 210. So when you're going to do that, let's say 126. So we can divide 126 into two numbers, 2 and 63. And we can further break 63 into two numbers. First is 3, let's say, and the second one is 21. And then you can circle 3 and you can also circle 2, because you cannot break 2 and 3, right? But you can break 21. So we can go further, like 3 and 7. 3 multiplied by 7 is 21. So we can circle 3 and 7, because 3 and 7 cannot be break like further. So now you can write the circled number here and you can multiply them. 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 7. Okay, so we have these are the you can say factors as well, like 2, 3 and 7 are the factors of 126. Okay, okay, so we have the number 210. Now we can further divide this number into two numbers, 2 and you can say 105, and then we can divide 105 into two numbers. Let's say one is 5 and the second one is 21, I guess, right? So we cannot circle 21. So let's say we can divide 21 into two numbers, 3 and 7. Now you can circle 7 and 3. Okay, so we can see here we have uh, like two numbers, 3 and 7. Okay, so now we can see that we have two numbers, 3 and 7, right? So now you can write here 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5. I am writing the numbers in an ascending order. So 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 7. Okay, now when you see like if you're going to multiply this, so you will again get your number, right? So basically what I have done, I have break the number into like into smaller numbers. Okay, and this is one of the way to find out greatest common factor. Okay, so how we can find the greatest common factor GCF is what we can do, we can see that like 2 is common in all of three like list of numbers, right? So we can write 2 here. Similarly, we have 3, which is common in all of these three lists, right? So we can write 3 as well here. And 7 is also common, right? So we can write 7 here. Now you can, when you solve it further, so you will get 42. So 42 is basically your greatest common factor. Like you can say 42 is the correct answer, or it is the greatest common factor of 42, 126 and 210. So this is how we're going to find the greatest common factor of any bigger numbers. Okay, for the smaller number you can just write the factors and you can see which factor is the common factor and also the greatest factor. So that greatest and common factor will be your GCF, greatest common factor. But here, when you have bigger numbers, for that you need to see and you need to like do this process in which first of all you will going to divide both all the numbers into smaller parts, and then you will see which of the following numbers are common in all of the like all of the list of numbers, and you can just multiply the common numbers and you will get your answer, which is 42. So sales for a business worth $3 million more the second year than the first. Okay, and sales for the third year were double the sales for the second year. Okay, so let's say we have the first air cells can be represented by F. For the second, we are representing it by S. For the third air, we are representing the cells by T. Okay, so like $3 million more the second air than the first. Okay, so let's say if the first air cells were F, then F will be $3 million more, right? So we can add 3. So F plus 3 equals 7. And we can say that for the third air, the cells were double the cells for the second air. It means that T will be equals to 2 times of the second air cells, which is S. So we can say these are two equations that we have made. In the question we have been given with if sales for the third year were $38 million. It means that T equals to $38 million. We need to find what were sales in millions of dollars for the first year. Okay, so we need to find F. Okay, so first of all, we can use this equation T equals to 2S in order to find out what is the value of S. We already know what is T. Okay, T is 38 million. So I can write 38 million here, and we can divide both sides by 2. So this 2 will be cancelled by this 2, and 38 divided by 2 will be 19 million. So S equals to 19 million, right? So S is 19 million, and if you double the S, like the second year cells, if you double the second year cells, so you will get your $38 million third year cells, right? Okay, so we need to find F. So for F, we can use this equation S equals to F plus 3. S is 19, so I can write 19 here. We can subtract 3 on both sides. So 19 minus 3 will be, you can say 16. So F will be equals to 16, right? This 3 will be cancelled by this 3. Okay, so let's go to the next question, which is question number 6. In question number 6, they are saying in the figure below, ray EF was constructed starting from rays ED and EG. Okay, so ED is here, EG is here, and like EF is here. These are the rays. Okay, and we need to see like by using a compass, like what are the next information given in the question. By using a compass, D and G were marked equidistant from E on rays ED and EG. Okay, so like you can see here, like by using a compass, D and G were marked. Okay, so this point is marked and this point is marked from E, from this point, and this, like you can say, from E, G and D, they both are equidistant, right? Like this distance is equal to this distance ED. So you can see ED, the distance ED is equals to EG, the distance EG. Now the compass was then used to locate at F, a point F. Okay, so point F is here, distinct from E, so that F is equidistant from D and G. So from D and G, F is equidistant. It means that this distance is basically equals to this distance, right? Like DF is equals to, we can write here DF, like DF is here, right? Is equals to FG. So these two distances are also equal, and we need to see about the angle DEF and GEF. Okay, so let me just draw the diagram again here. So the diagram is something look like this. Okay, so let's say this point is E, this point is G, this is D, and this is F. Okay, so this length is equals to this length, and this length is equal to this length, like DE is equals to EG. Okay, and this we can like draw a line here. Okay, so let's say if I just break this shape into two triangles like this. So this will be EFD. Okay, similarly I can make another triangle which is something like this. Okay, and this is about EGF. Okay, so if you can see here, EF is the same in both the triangles, right? And you can see this DE is basically equals to EG, right? This DE is equals to EG, and this DF is equals to FG, right? This thing is basically equals to this thing. So we can see that EF of both the triangles like are same, right? So both same, right? And then DE is equal to, you can say, EG. Similarly, the line DF equals to FG, line FG. Okay, so we can see that all of the three sides of both the triangles are similar, are congruent. It means that both the triangles are similar triangles. Okay, so when the triangles are similar, then their corresponding angles will also be the same, will also be congruent, right? So it means that this angle subtended between DE and EF, so this angle will be equals to this angle, right? Because this line, like EF and EG, it is the same as DE and EF, right? So it means both the angles, like the angle DEF and the angle GEF. Okay, so both the angle will be congruent, right? Are equal. So DEF will be equals to GEF. So we can say F is our correct answer. So like both the measures of angle DEF and GEF, they both are equal. So this angle is like GEF and this angle is DEF. So both the angles are equal. So now we can go to the next question. Okay, so we have question number 8. The length in inches of a box is 3 inches less than twice its width in inches. Which of the following gives the length L in inches in terms of the width W inches of the box? Okay, so we have length in inches of a box is 3 inches less than twice its width. Okay, so first of all we can write twice of the width. Okay, so let's say width is W, so we are writing 2 multiplied by W. Okay, so length L is basically is 3 inches less. Okay, so we can subtract 3 from this, so 2W, like twice of width minus 3 equals to L. So length of the box will be 2W minus 3, which is option number J. Okay, so let's move to the next question. Okay, so we have quadrilateral PQRS below, sides PSQR are parallel to for what value of X? Okay, so this is your quadrilateral. Quadrilateral is the shape with which has 4 equal sides. Oh, sorry, 4 sides. So PQRS is the quadrilateral in which PS and QR, these two sides are parallel. Okay, but these two sides are parallel for what value of X? Okay, that's the thing. So let's say if we have two parallel lines, okay, similar, let's say one line is here, the second line is here, these two lines are parallel to each other. Okay, let's say we have a line which basically cut or intersects these two lines at two different angles. Okay, like let's say like this. So if you can see, this line is intersecting the two parallel lines at two different angles. Okay, it is not like both angles are not equal to each other. Okay, so it is not like the same angles, but the angles are different at both the ends. Okay, so we can see that like this line is basically called as transversal line, transversal line segment, or transversal rays. So the transversal line is a line which intersects two parallel lines at two different angles. Okay, so so there is a rule which says the sum of angles of sum of interior angles is basically equals to supplementary angle. Supplementary angle means 180 degrees. Okay, so let's say we have again we let's say if I'm considering let's say two parallel lines. Let's say this line is parallel to this line, and a transversal line like this intersects the two lines at two different like angles. So the interior angle, like this angle and this angle, the sum of these two angles, A and let's say B, so A plus B will be equals to 180 degrees. Okay, so in this case the parallel lines are these two lines, this line and this line. So interior angle like this angle and this angle, the sum of interior angle will be equals to 180 degrees, right? Similarly, if we consider this shape, so these two lines PS and QR, okay, like if we consider the shape PQRS, so in PQRS we have PS and QR, these two sides are parallel to each other. So whenever the two lines are parallel, then let's say if we consider PQ as a transversal line, because this line is intersecting the two parallel lines, right? PQ line segment from P to Q, so this line is intersecting or touching both the parallel lines, right? So at two different angles, so interior angle like this angle and this angle, the sum of these two angles will be equals to 180 degrees, right? 70 plus x degree equals to 180 degrees. So when you find x, so it will be 110 degrees, right? So 110 is your answer. So here you can also see the solution. The correct answer is D. The question states that PS and QR are parallel. If you treat line segment PQ as a transversal, then angle P and angle Q are interior angles. Okay, so like this angle and this angle, they both are interior angles on the same side of a transversal line PQ, which intersects PS and line QR at two different angles. So the sum of their angles will be add up to 180 degrees. So that's the thing. Okay, now we have question number 10, and it is about how many irrational numbers are there between 1 and 6. Okay, so we need to first of all understand what are the irrational numbers. What are the irrational numbers? So irrational numbers are those numbers which cannot be represented or which cannot be written as a fraction. Okay, let's say we have a number under root 2. Okay, so this number cannot be written as a fraction, let's say p divided by q. Okay, where q cannot be equal to 0, because if the denominator becomes 0, so the fraction would become like undefined. So that is why q cannot be equal to 0. Or okay, so we have irrational numbers, let's say under root 2, let's say under root 3. Okay, and under root 3 is also an irrational number. Okay, so let's say we have under root 4. Is under root 4 an irrational number or a rational number? So we need to understand that under root 4 is basically equal to plus minus 2, right? So it means that you can say plus 2 or plus minus 2. Okay, so it means that here we have a whole number, right? And 2. So like we can write under root 4 like 2 as a fraction. Let's say 4 divided by 2, right? Because 4 divided by 2 is also 2, right? So we can write under root 4 as a fraction. Under root 4 means we have, let's say 8 divided by let's say 4, because 8 divided by 4 is 2. So under root 4 is also equal to 2, right? It means that under root 4 can be written as a fraction. Okay, so under root 4 is not an irrational number. Okay, so they are asking us how many irrational numbers are there between 1 and 6. Okay, so let's say this is the number line. Okay, so this is, let's say 0, this is, let's say 1, and so on, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so in between 1 and 6, in between these two whole numbers, we have like many, you can say, irrational numbers. Why? Because the thing is, irrational numbers, like let's say, one like 1.423, right? It is coming in between 1 and 6, right? So it is also an irrational number because we cannot write 1.423 as a fraction. So you can say that there are multiple or infinitely as many, you can say, irrational numbers in between any two whole numbers. Okay, in between any two whole numbers there will be infinitely many, you can say, irrational numbers. We have, let's say, pi is also an irrational number. We have, because pi is equals to 1.4 2 and like so on. Similarly, we have, let's say, 1.43215. So this is also an irrational number because we cannot write this as a fraction. And sometimes we have these kind of decimal numbers in which there is a pattern which the decimal numbers are following. Okay, but in irrational numbers, the decimal numbers will not going to follow any kind of a order. Okay, any kind of an order. Let's say 1.424242 and so on. Okay, it means, if you can see, 42 and 42, it is being repeated, like 42 is repeating itself, right, again and again. So there is a pattern here. So when there is a pattern, so the number will not be an irrational number. But if the pattern is not present, and the number is a decimal number, so we can say it is an irrational number because we cannot define that number in terms of a fraction. Okay, so there are infinitely as many numbers between two whole numbers. Let's go to the next question, which is about question number 11. So it says a typical high school student consumes 67.5 pounds of sugar per year. Okay, sugar per year. Okay, as part of a nutrition plan, each member of a track team plans to lower the sugar he or she consumes by at least 20% for the coming year. Okay, so the sugar level will be decreased by 20% for the coming year. Assuming each track member had consumed sugar at the level of a typical high school student and will adhere to this plan for the coming year, what is the maximum number of pounds of sugar to be consumed by each track team? Okay, so we need to find what is the maximum number of pounds in the coming year. That will be consumed by each track team member. So that's the thing we need to find out. Okay, so we have 67.5 sugar per year for the present year, and we need to find this for the next year. And there will be a decrease of 20%, right? It means, let's say, if there is a decrease of 20%, then 80% of the current year sugar, you can say, level or sugar consumption. So there will be 80% of sugar consumption, right? If there is a decrease of 20%. So it means that if we find 80% of this value, we will have the number of pounds of sugar for the upcoming year. Okay, so we can say 0. Okay, so 80% means 80 divided by 100 multiplied by 67.5. We can solve this by using our calculator. Let's say 67.5 multiplied by 0.8, so it is giving us 54. So 54 number of pounds will be consumed by each track team member in the coming year. So this is option number D. Let's go to our next question. Okay, in the standard XY coordinate plane below, three of the vertices of a rectangle are shown. Okay, which of the following is the fourth vertex of the rectangle? Okay, so basically the corner or vertices of a rectangle are given. Okay, so this is your one corner or vertex. Okay, this is the second vertex, and then you will have the third one here, and the fourth one will be somewhere here, right? It will be somewhere here. Okay, so if we consider, okay, so we have this point -1 comma -1, right? So similarly, if we can see here, so on this line, if we just consider this, so there is a difference of, in the y-axis there is a difference of, you can say, from y-axis it is going from 1 to -5, right? So it is going down this point is going down by you can say 6 units, right? 6 units. That is why it is becoming -5, because 1 minus 6 will be -5. Okay. Similarly, if we can just go this value, okay, -1 by 6 units down, okay, 6 units down, so it will give us the value, right? It will give us the value. So let's say -1, and we are going 6 units down. It means we can subtract 6 from this, so we will have -7, right? So this is the y coordinate of the fourth. Let's say a comma b. So b will be equals to -7. Okay. So if you can see here, there is just one you can say point in which the y value is -7, right? And in this f option we have y, like the x value as 3. Okay. So you can see that it is somehow like lying here, right? So it is somewhere around 3, right? So we can say that this like this coordinate point can be our answer, because this is giving us a very logical like answer. So we can say that 3,7 -7 is the fourth vertex of the rectangle. Fourth vertex. So if you guys have any questions, so you can let me know in the comment section. I will be more than happy to answer you.